This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 2, BVCK Presents DSA Files. This is your host, BogusBird, and my co-host, CrazyKat.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back, and to our new listeners, welcome.
What's going on, dude? How's your day? What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. It's been a little bit of a rough day, but I got through it.
Yeah, it was a shit day for me too, man. Had to do some grocery shopping with the wife. Had to mow the yard today. And I realized that I booked the wrong flight for tomorrow. Instead of flying in the morning, I'm flying at night, apparently. And
that's always fun.
Yeah, that's going to throw off my plans a little bit. But, whatever. It's gotta push on through.
How late are you talking about?
Well, I thought I'd be leaving at 10 a.m. I will be leaving at 10 p.m.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big difference right there.
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of throws off the plans, but it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, well. I ain't driving late. I'm not driving, but flying late with three kids or two for now.
No. It's just me. It's just me flying with.
Oh, I thought all y'all were going.
No. Just me and my brother. Me and my brother flying out there, and
okay.
We'll be driving back from California back to Texas. So that's gonna be fun.
Oh, okay. It shouldn't be. Oh, well, the flight shouldn't be too bad then.
Oh yeah.
Driving's gonna suck, though. I will tell you, driving's gonna suck.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will definitely suck.
I drove from Utah to Texas. Oh my god, that was bad.
Ooh, how long does that drive?
It was supposed to be 22 hours, but I think it was more like 24 to 25 hours because we did a couple of stops on the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds about pretty close to what I'll be doing. From California to here, it's about 22 hours, I believe.
Oh, you should be good.
I'm not looking forward to it.
No, but y'all can take turns.
Yeah, we'll definitely be doing that, but still.
I didn't have that luxury. I remember before we left, we were like, don't worry about it. I'll drive until you get tired, and I'll take over and stuff like that. My wife's like, don't worry, I'll drive when you get tired.
Mm-hmm.
So then we were driving, and we're several hours into the drive. And I'm like, I'm getting kind of tired. Do you mind switching? She's like, where I'll drive. We switch. Within 2 hours, she wanted to switch back.
Oh. That,
I'm like, I'm barely falling asleep by that time.
Well, just wanted to...
And I pretty much drove the rest of the way.
Pretty much what?
I drove the rest of the way.
Oof. That's,
So I slept for like almost 2 hours, and I drove the rest of the way.
Well, maybe she didn't think you were tired.
I guess not.
No.
So 24-hour drive, I drove for 22 of those.
Yeah, that sounds good. See, I'm taking my brother, not the missus, so I'll definitely be switching a lot more than that. So.
Yep. It was kind of cool because you see things that you wouldn't normally see. And you drive through places that you wouldn't normally drive through.
That is true. That is very true.
Except for a couple of areas where it's almost kind of creepy, actually, especially during the night. You're driving in there, and there is like nothing, like seriously nothing out there, but you see a pure blackness, except for your headlights on the road.
Yeah, those are those could be some scary roads.
Well, it's really creepy because of course, during the daytime, all you would see is just land, so it's not that creepy. But at night, where you can't see anything, it's a little weird.
A little bit. You know what I'm hoping to see out there? Maybe instead of some headlights, I'll see some lights coming from above me. Eh?
You hoping to see God?
Oh, no. That's not, no, I hope not. Not planning on that one. Not yet.
No, I think I need to talk about. Are you talking about E.T.?
Possibly. Maybe,
There's the aliens from Toy Story.
Oh, God. I don't think those count. I'm pretty sure they don't count. Maybe Superman. He's an alien, right?
Technically,
yeah.
And you have aliens from the movie Alien.
Yes. Those would be bad. I definitely don't want to run into those in the dark.
Although, if you do run into those, like an alien of any kind,
right,
you'll be followed by this.
I hope not.
Oh, come on, that was good.
I hope not.
You don't know about the Men in Black?
Yes, a bit.
Well, from what I know, not somebody you want to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard stories, seen the videos, and yeah, they don't seem like something you want to mess around with.
Huh. So Will Smith and Kay, they really drive around and they stop aliens and.
Well, first of all, it's AgentKuckle.
Oh, my bad.
And no. Yeah, and his name is not Will Smith in the movie either.
You're right.
Wait, Agent J, right?
J, yeah, that's right.
Right? Yeah, Agent J.
JK, that's right.
Yeah, but no, I'm not sure that's quite the way they do it. They do drive around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's in the slick black car like in the movie.
Ooh.
I don't know their dress exactly of the movie. Because the video that I've seen, they have a suit on, but it's not all nice and tailored from what I saw most of the time.
Right.
Usually, from what I see, they're usually taller. Always seem to be white.
Okay. All right.
But like a pale white. Like I haven't seen the sun in years white.
Huh.
Always walking straight, like upright straight. Don't say much. And what was it? I can't remember when it was. I want to say maybe a few months ago. I came across the video, just browsing online, and it talks about the Men in Black. And has a video where it has these two guys, tall, white, like little pale white, walk into this building where there's a woman sitting there, like a receptionist area. And one guy walks kind of past her, and the other guy walks to her at the desk.
Okay.
And there's no audio, though you know anything being said between them. But what they focused in on, and when the guy's standing there at the desk, he has both of his hands on the receptionist desk. And he does like this movement with the one hand. It's kind of a weird movement he does. Kind of like side to side, and he closes it open, something like that. And then all of a sudden, it almost like it hypnotizes the woman. Because she'll stop, and she'll turn, go grab something from her purse. I think she gives it to him. And then he does the movement again, and they walk out.
Damn.
And the woman's just left there, just standing there. Like frozen almost.
Wow.
And supposedly they probably were saying that those were the Men in Black that came to visit her.
Why did they approach her to begin with?
That's what it doesn't say. It doesn't say exactly. It just gives some conspiracy to what it could be. Like maybe she had witnessed something, or she had found something. That's what they're going to get.
And then
that's what maybe she found something that they wanted or needed, and they kind of like just hypnotized her into giving it to them.
What?
That's what she took. So she took something out of her purse and she handed it over to them. I'm thinking that's what they wanted.
So in the movie, I mean, obviously, of course, the movie isn't going to be like the real thing, right? But they had that little the flash thingy, pencil thing, and to erase someone's memory, and then they could kind of reprogram them to kind of do what they would want them to do. So you're saying the Men in Black, the real Men in Black, can do something similar, but they don't need the pencil that flashes. No,
from what I saw, and like I said, if they really focus in on that, he does some movements with his hand.
Huh. So are you suggesting these Men in Black have some sort of power, some sort of ability?
Yes. Whether they're born with it or they give it to them or something, I'm not sure how that works. But they do have some sort of ability.
Did you have you ever heard about the one where the Men in Black make a penny disappear?
A penny?
A penny.
No.
They so from what I understand, the Men in Black are basically magicians. They Dr. Herbert Hopkins, what this guy was, he had some certain information about UFO sighting, and two men showed up at his door, and very similarly to how you described it, they were tall, they were dressed in black suits, pale. Hopkins said that these had red lips. And they also had no facial hair. Like no facial hair, no eyebrows, no eyelashes. It sounds kind of creepy, but
That actually sounds familiar to other things I've heard too.
yeah. But yeah, so these two guys are there, and they're like, "Hey man, this information that you have, you need to not make it public." And Hopkins thought they were full of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the Men in Black says to him, "You have 2 pennies in your pocket. Pull them out." And so Hopkins, he searches his pocket, and sure enough, he finds 2 pennies. And the Men in Black tells him to stick one out right in front of him, put it in the palm of his hand, and it disintegrates in his hand like the Thanos snap. And it starts disintegrating right in front of his face. And he's basically said to him, "Hey, did you hear about this guy Barney who died last week?" And like, "Yeah." And he says, "Barney didn't have a heart, just like you no longer have a coin." And the dude storms off. He walks away. He just leaves him with that. kind of basically threatened him.
Pretty much.
He threatened him.
Wow.
Yeah. And according to that report, after that, his phone line wasn't working properly. So it is assumed that his lines were tampered with.
Yeah.
So
I know they had him on lockdown there for sure.
Yeah, that's some. I don't know, man. That's.
Yeah, that's just like that. Yeah. Actually, you mentioned that there's like I said, there's tons of videos and stuff you can look up, but one that has always stood out to me because the very first time I heard it was kind of creepy at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
But and this is an old one, pretty old one. It's one about some guy. You can look it up on YouTube also, but it's a guy that calls into a radio station, and he calls in to talk just about alien stuff. And when he gets into the call, he's already frantic. He's already like almost in tears, and you can tell he sounds really scared over the phone. He's trying to get as much information as he can, and it's hard for him to talk. And the host of the radio just, come on, tell us what's going on, who are you, and all that. Mm-hmm. And this guy is a former employee of Area 51. And you pretty much know what Area 51 is, right?
Right.
So he's a former employee, and he starts giving all these details, talking about how they already know what the aliens are planning. They know how they're going to attack. They know like they have a strategy already of what they're going to do, but they're not telling anybody, and they have a chance to start doing it now, but they're not doing anything about it. So they already have information of what's going to happen, and the aliens are real, and they're coming, and all that stuff. And he starts saying that he needs to make it quick because they're going to triangulate his location, all that stuff.
Wow.
So it's going on and on and on and on, giving all these secrets out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the whole power in the studio itself goes out completely. It just shuts off. And so you're in there for like a minute or something of just silence, nothing at all. And then what's said is their backup generator kicks in.
Okay.
So it starts everything again, starts to back up again. And the guy already gone. He's not online anymore. But the original host is still there.
Okay.
So he starts telling about what just happened. He said, the power went out, our backup generator kicked in, we don't know what happened. They couldn't get the other guy back on the line. The guy disappeared. And they're thinking that, somebody heard, whether the government heard or, Area 51 heard or something. And then they had to shut them up.
So they cut the power to the station.
And, yeah, they cut the complete power to it.
Wow.
And the creepier part is, I think like a month later, I think.
Yeah.
They get another call, and it's supposedly, it's that same guy that called in earlier. Saying, completely different sounding guy, to me at least. His tone was way different. He was a lot happier. He was joking. And according to him, the whole call was just a joke. It was a hoax. No reason behind it. It was just supposed to be funny. So what he said was a lie. It was joking around. And a lot of people have been calling him out saying, no, it's not. It was too real. His voice was too real. You could feel he was scared. And all that, a bunch of other stuff. People were kind of backing up his story. But so a lot of people are saying that the guy who called it is not the same guy.
Or
they got somebody else to pretend.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Excuse me, bro.
hey guys, have you heard of the Essay Files?
No. What's that?
It's a weekly podcast that discusses entertainment news. They focus on topics surrounding Marvel movies, TV shows, DC movies, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, anime news, pop culture properties such as Aliens and Predator, and various other geek culture series and movies.
That sounds awesome! I'm a huge fan of all those things.
Me too! I've been listening to it for weeks now, and it's really funny. The hosts are very knowledgeable about their stuff, and they always have a lot of interesting things to say.
So how do I subscribe?
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you can listen to a podcast.
Awesome. I'm going to do it right now.
You won't regret it. Oh my God. Or maybe it was the same guy, and he's a starving actor, didn't make it in Hollywood. Just kind of called in with tears. That could have been faked.
I bet, but he could have called in about something else.
Like what? What do you think he was brainwashed?
Could have done like a monologue or a movie or something. Not talking about that.
Well,
and me believing I believe in that stuff, so to me it sounded really, really real. And if you look it up, like now they are even trying to find the guy, and other people are trying to find who this guy is, and nobody can really find much information on him now.
Huh. So after he calls in and says, "Yeah, I lied," then he just dips and nobody can find him?
Pretty much.
That's interesting. Wonder where he took off to.
Yeah, or I'm thinking someone should have forget.
And you're suggesting Men in Black did this?
Not specifically, but it could be. Also, it could be just another form of government thing, yes.
Okay. So you mentioned that you're 100% full believer, right? You're into this. You're
Yeah.
Okay. So do you fully believe that the government is hiding or keeping the truth away from the public?
Oh yeah. 100%.
What makes you say that? Why do you 100%? Like not even a doubt.
Because there's too much going on about it. There's too many people talking about it already. There's too much evidence that points to that already. It's kind of hard to ignore it.
I mean, it is, and I agree with you to a certain point. Like, I do have beliefs in it, right? Like, I do think it's real. I do, but some of the stories I kind of feel like are bullshit. But then there's other ones that stand out, and it's just like, whoa, that one could definitely be real.
And that's always going to be a thing, no matter what the subject is. It's the internet. Not everything's going to be the truth, obviously. People are going to want to put their name out there just to get attention.
Yeah.
Or just to mess with people. But then again, at the same time, there are those that are actually true.
True. Yeah.
And for me, I've always believed there's something else out there. I mean, as big as this universe is, I mean, we've discovered planets, stars, galaxies, all that. And you're telling me out of all that, we're the only ones here?
I think so.
That's almost impossible. I don't believe there has to be something else out there. There's no way that we have all these different planets, all these different galaxies, all kinds of stuff, and we're still discovering more stuff. Yet we're the only ones that are allowed to be here.
I mean, I guess, with how wide the galaxy is, I mean, it's pretty hard to say that humans are the only intelligent life out there. It's a tough thing to say. It's I guess humans, we got our egos to look after. So,
what really creeped me out right now? We started talking and our line cut off.
Oh, well, maybe someone might have got a hold of our transmission here.
Yeah.
Someone
started thinking about that right now. Like, what the hell would happen? I'd freak out.
Someone knocks on your door. Just letting you know, I will find a new host. I will find a new co-host.
Don't do that. I'm close to my door. Don't do that. Not gonna be like freaking just staring at it. I'm like, that son of a bitch, man.
Just got started, already replaced.
Oh, you really got me looking at my door now.
Excellent.
Oh man,
I don't know if you heard this before, but I don't have the information in front of me. However, I did read an article a couple years back stating that they found proof that water existed on Earth. I'm sorry. God damn it.
I hope so.
I would hope so too. But they discovered water on Mars. That, it was like millions of years ago, but there's proof that water did exist on Mars at some point. I believe they even found life on Mars. It was a small molecular cell. It was like I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was, it wasn't an animal. It wasn't a being, but it was like a living cell on Mars. Does that count as an alien? As alien life? Technically, I guess.
Well, supposedly wherever they say there's water, there's life. What they say. As far as the being that you said,
yes,
I haven't heard much about that one though. Like when you say the being, like, is it like the breathe, or like what is, like, or is it like slime, or what is it exactly? A creature or what?
It's not a creature. It doesn't have lungs or limbs. It's literally like a cell, like a cell in your bloodstream. Like it's like in the molecular level. It's not something that we can see with our eyes, but supposedly it is something they found on Mars.
Okay. I thought it was something like venom or something.
Oh, no. I really hope not.
We are so screwed. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, like I said, I'm telling you, there is more out there.
Yeah.
There's more out there, and there's things being kept secret from us. Why it's being kept secret? I believe that if we were to find out everything that they're hiding, the world would like just go crazy. Human people wouldn't be able to understand what's going on. They'd lose their mind and go crazy over this.
I mean, maybe back in the 50s and the 60s, I can agree with that, yes. But today, though, I mean,
people are worse now than they were before.
Well, in certain aspects, yes. But this generation is also more open-minded than previous generations. You know, I feel like if President Biden comes out and it says, "Hey, there's alien life,"
No,
everyone's just going to bitch about it instead.
I have to disagree on the whole open-minded thing. They're much more closed-minded now than they were before.
You think they're closed-minded?
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, this lady freaking called the cops on a little kid who was selling hot dogs on the street. Dude, how is that open-minded?
I mean, maybe it was a vicious hot dog.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So please click on the link below and subscribe. Become a bro. And join the
Brochachos.
Subscribe.
Yeah, do it. You owe it to yourself. You've earned it. You sat through this far. You've earned it. Do it. You want it. You need it. We need it. Come on. Hit that subscribe. Hit that follow. Love you guys.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did. All right.
The dude was trying to make some money for himself, and this freaking old lady would do that. And look at all these freaking Karens going on in the world. Their mind are more closed than anything else.
Oh, those bitches, yeah.
People just fighting in restaurants. No one giving a damn for other people. Freaking shootings all over the place, and hardly anything done about it.
Can't disagree there.
I think it's getting worse, actually. In my opinion, I think it's getting worse.
So,
there are some good things, but the bad things outweigh the good, I think.
So massive hysteria is basically what you're saying would happen.
Exactly.
But I mean, wouldn't it be better to just rip the Band-Aid off? Just get it over with. I mean, once everybody knows what are we going to do? It's not like we can say no if it's already happened,
You could rip the Band-Aid off, but I'd be worried about what's underneath that Band-Aid. We don't know. Again, we don't know. They're hiding that from us. What if it's something that could literally just destroy the world?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if there was something that could really destroy the world, it probably would have happened by now. That's what I think. Unless do you think the government is really protecting the planet from, an alien invasion, I guess?
Well, here's another thing, too. I forgot. Now that you mentioned that way, on that call that I was talking about earlier, that guy called into the radio station, he said they're trying to weed out people. So they're moving certain kinds of people into safe areas that they have already. Mm-hmm. They haven't done it yet, and they should do it now, but they haven't done it yet. But they're trying to do that. They're trying to weed people out.
Weed them up for what?
Supposedly, what they want to actually keep are the smarter people, or the healthier people, and things like that. The more athletic people that can use in some sort of, war or battle that would probably happen if these so-called aliens were to actually invade and let everybody else casualties. Basically, keep the strong alive. That's what we want to do. Keep the strong and healthy alive, and let the old, or whatever you want to call it, let them take it. And that's the answer. I think that sounds pretty wrong, but that's what supposedly is being planned.
Well, over the last couple of years, I've gained a few pounds. So
Nice knowing you.
maybe I should stop buying hot dogs from that guy who's selling it on the corner.
The little kid.
Shit. Ooh. All right. Well. Okay. Do you think the Men in Black are an extension of the government? Are they working for the government? Are they, like the Army or Marines? That's just a separate bureau. The Men in Black. They're a thing.
I think they have some connection to the government. How much of a connection, I don't know, but there's some sort of connection there. And if it's not a connection, at least they know about each other, or they know about them at least.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've seen this before, because I've seen this a long time ago, but there was one video where they were supposedly caught on tape. There was two of them.
The Men in Black?
Yeah, the Men in Black. There was two of them that walking into a hotel, and they were looking for, I believe it was the manager of that hotel, because he was telling everybody, like, hey, I can see a UFO outside of, this hotel. And, so I guess the Men in Black caught wind of this and they came to see him, but he wasn't there. And they were talking to the bellboy saying, hey, you need to contact him, bring him in. We need to talk to him, trying to force them to bring him to them. Mm-hmm. And when he wasn't able to do so, they stormed off. They were just pissed and they left. But they were caught on the cameras from the hotel lobby, and the bellboy described them again: tall, pale, hairless. But this time he said that the two guys had an identical face. He said they looked exactly the same, like,
oh wow,
yeah, like twins, basically.
Yeah.
Well, that I found kind of creepy. I mean, either they're twins or they're wearing some kind of mask, maybe, or I don't know.
It's a good one, actually.
You've seen that video?
Yeah,
right?
I have. That sounds very familiar. I think I might have seen it a long time ago, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that does sound pretty familiar. I'm telling you, there's more out there than we know. There's a lot more out there than we know.
Yeah, it's
Was someone screaming?
I don't know. I kind of hear something too. Like, what the fuck is that? I hear like it's like a woman is going, ah.
Okay, not coming from my end.
That's what I'm hearing, man.
I heard like a squeaking noise, like when you open a door. It goes,
maybe that's what it is. It sounded like a woman to me. It's like, oh no, he can hear me watching porn.
It's like, shit, where's the mute button? Where's the mute button?
My bad. Oh, jeez.
That's what I think. I think there's more out there than we know, and we're gonna die before we know all of it.
I sure hope not. I'd like to know, before my time comes. I would like to know definitively what the hell's going on.
You should have joined that one group that was planning on raiding the Area 51. Remember that?
Yeah.
Should have joined that group. Well, everybody kind of chickened out at the last minute.
I think that group was a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, we weren't going to get very far.
Yeah, those fucktards would have been dead within seconds.
Easily, within seconds of crossing that line.
Yeah, that's... oh, man, that's... I had a friend who seemed serious about it, wanted to go out there on the day, camp out, and when the time came that everybody agreed upon, just Naruto run. They're like, oh, they can't shoot all of us. Oh, they could. They definitely could.
You know, they got like some landmines probably out there already.
Yeah. I mean,
take out like 10 of them at one time.
Man, those Area 51 is one of those places that you just don't fuck with, you know? That is
there's a reason they don't let you go to it.
Right, exactly.
There's a reason it's so protected.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you want to help underprivileged bald men whose hair has fallen, one by one? If you subscribe today, a hair will grow back on CK's head.
For every
one click,
for every like, for every follow, you can make a difference on that bald, shiny head. Subscribe now.
Please, if you don't want my brother B to start looking like CK over there, please subscribe. He's heading that way. With every subscribes, you can get a follicle on that balding head of his. Bing.
Do us all a favor. Subscribe.
What do you think is down there? What do you think they're hiding? What have you heard?
Oh man, I've heard so many different things. I heard from actual UFOs to actual aliens, and just like secret programs that the government has is working on or has worked on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I heard a number of things that could be down there. Once again, we don't know how true that is because no one's ever been there. But there are former workers that have come out and said, yeah, there's aliens there, there's UFOs there. How much that is true, we don't know. But yet, when that happens, somehow these people just go disappearing.
So I don't remember the name of this doctor guy but I watched this documentary on Netflix. I believe in Netflix. He came out saying that he worked on when Area 51 first opened up, when they first opened their doors to nobody. He started there as a young guy, like he was 17 years old or something, and he was apparently a genius, and they hired him on. And when they gave him the tour, they showed him wreckage of a UFO. And they showed that they figured out how to make it float, and they wanted him to reverse engineer it. And so for several years, he worked on that. That was basically his life. He tried to reverse engineer how the UFO flies, the proportion that how does it accelerate, how the material that is used in it was not a metal from Earth. And when he retired, he went straight to the media. He's like, he was taking no chances. He went straight to them. He's like, this is my name. This is what I've been doing. I'm letting everybody know. That way they don't come take me out. And so he's protected in a way because he's put his name out there and he's made himself so public that if he disappeared, people would notice. The guy had like sketches. He had, all these really, he went into a lot of detail of what he did in there. Stuff that I can't even repeat because I don't even know what the Scientology that he was using. The wording is so, it's fucking science fiction. Yeah. But it was really cool to watch. I wish I could remember the name of it. And if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out.
That's a good one. Yeah, sounds interesting. I might take a look at that.
Yeah, it was definitely very cool stuff. Another thing that he said that he saw, but he never had contact with, was alien bodies. That the UFO that was there that he was reverse engineering, well, the pilots didn't make it, and they preserved the bodies. They kind of had them on ice and just kind of stuck them in this other room, and he said he saw them. He saw the bodies, but he never interacted with them.
Did he see? Say he saw the bodies, right?
Right.
Did he describe it at all? I was saying, because that's another thing I'm curious about, because I want to know, other people are giving not different, but similar descriptions of what they look like. So I want to know that that's true, or something that they're making up, or like, do they really look like that, or does it look completely different?
Right. It was similar to what you would expect. He was saying that the bodies were kind of shriveled up. So body wise, he couldn't give an accurate description, I suppose, or I guess. But he said the heads were elongated. They were wider than a human head. The nostrils were not a nose like ours. They were kind of just two holes. The mouth was more of like a slit. And the eyes were caved in.
Damn.
So, I mean, pretty similar to what we've heard for years, what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
pretty cool stuff, man.
I'm gonna look into that. That's pretty cool.
For sure.
So what about you? Like, on overall belief, how do you feel on that? Are you a believer or somewhat a believer? Or you think most of it's crap?
Well, I don't think it's all crap. Some of it's crap, yeah, absolutely. But I do believe that there are alien life forms out there. More than likely, they are the pilots of these UFOs. Kind of like you mentioned earlier, there's just a lot of evidence, a lot of moments in history that it seemed like the government was definitely covering up these stories and not releasing them to the public.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I kind of noticed, and this was a while back also, a story that I read. Speaking of UFOs and their pilots and stuff, supposedly they had captured an alien in the spaceship, and kind of like what you said, he's trying to kind of reverse engineer it.
Yeah. And
they were actually able to get it to fly, and they tested it out in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And when they did that, a lot of people were they saw it, they were taking video, and they're saying, "Oh, look, a UFO, UFO, UFO." And then the government covering up, saying, "Oh, it was an experiment for something else, had nothing to do with a UFO." Then later on, like a few weeks later, they'd admit that it was a UFO.
What the fuck?
So like, what the hell? Really, you lied to us pretty much to our face right there. Now you're saying it was real. How are you supposed to believe that?
And this was the government that admitted?
Yeah, when they came out with a statement saying it was one that there was a UFO that they found.
Wow. When did that happen? I didn't hear about
this. Was several years ago. Oh. And supposedly, it was a UFO they had found. They got it to fly, but they were testing it out, and according to people saw this in the air and stuff. They always see the lights and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they saw that, and supposedly the government was saying no, something else they were doing with their aircrafts. And then later on, they admit that it was a UFO they found. They were testing it out and stuff like that.
Damn.
But even besides that, I mean, there's always all these sightings of weird things flying about. And the one that really stuck with me was, and I hate to think you're flying, but there was one really good video of a plane flying, and one guy's taking a video outside, and it looks like a flying saucer almost, really, right outside where the plane is. Kind of flying just a little bit higher than the plane. Damn. And it's pretty clear too. And it's definitely not another airplane, not a helicopter. It's definitely something, from out of this world.
Right. Yeah. Wow. I've heard some similar stories. I've heard transmissions of astronauts. Like, you know how sometimes they're out there in stations out and floating in space for long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a transmission once a while ago about this guy was speaking to somebody, I guess, back on Earth, right? and they were like, oh, staring out the window, supposedly, from what I was able to understand. They're like, oh, it's back. And they're trying to figure out, like, what are you talking about? What's back? Oh, it's back. Basically he's saying that there was a spaceship next to the satellite, and it was just sitting there. It was just flying there. It wasn't doing anything. It was just there.
That sounds so familiar to me.
Yeah. It's kind of a creepy transmission, because the guy is so calm about it. He's like, yeah, it's happening again.
It's not like now the dog's back.
Yeah, but it's so weird because he says that it doesn't do anything, and after several minutes, it just takes off. It just zooms off and like very quickly.
That is crazy. But I mean, it makes sense. All the videos I've seen, there are times when you'll see the aircraft and it'll just like quickly just disappear out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's
goes nowhere. It shows up out of nowhere.
Their technology is absolutely impressive.
No, I mean, I hate to admit it, but if they do decide to invade, we're all screwed. We are definitely screwed.
Yeah, there's it's not going to be any dogfights like in the movie. Any movies, no, man. They'll just take off
one single blast and we're good.
Basically.
They got all our stuff, and they probably even have. It's funny because we have some of their people, and I'm almost positive they have some of ours. People they have abducted.
Yeah,
they got to have them up there. Something there had to be something with them. And then we take yours, take ours, we take yours.
I don't know. It could be pretty nice. What? I mean, think about it. They pick you up, They show you a good time. They take you traveling.
Good time.
Candlelight dinner, nice romantic probing, anal probing.
Of course.
Yeah. And then they drop you off. I mean, that's
okay.
That's
do
the
me
perfect.
a favor then.
Yeah.
Check out this movie called, I think it's called Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky. Okay.
And you let me know how much of a nice evening that would be.
I'll check that out, but
especially the scene where he gets abducted.
Mm-hmm.
That honestly almost gave me nightmares.
Well, what why did they forget to light the candle?
No. Let's just put it this way.
They burnt dinner.
They strip him completely. They strip him completely naked.
Good start.
I don't remember the whole wording of piece by piece of it, but they completely strip him, and then they use this. I don't know if it's elastic or gooey crap to hold him down, like strap him down so he can't move over his body. And all he needed was his neck and his head exposed.
Sexy.
And then they start to cut him open.
Oh.
And while he's awake, by the way, and he starts screaming like in pain, and then I remember the scene they take like some almost like jelly looking stuff,
yeah,
and pour it down his mouth to keep him quiet, and it's really nasty. They push it down his throat into his mouth to keep him from screaming. And then another scene that grossed me out was they get like this circular tool. And they put it around his eye, and they start to squeeze, and like this, like juice comes out of his eye. It's disgusting to watch, but it's kind of graphic. And then they start to like cut his head open.
What the fuck?
They got like a little scalpel, and they start to cut his head open, and they do all kinds of weird experiments on him. You gotta watch it. Just watch that one scene, and you'll understand.
But do they anal probe him?
I don't know if it got to that part.
Well, that's some bullshit.
But just the whole scene from when they take them up. I mean, it shows them like dragging them through the whole spaceship into like the lab wherever they take them.
Mm-hmm.
They're just dragging them through the floor like a piece of meat.
I don't know, man. That sounds like the perfect S&M first date.
I hope not. It's pretty bad. They do drop him back off, but he's completely traumatized by then.
You can walk it off.
And it's crazy because like no one believes him. He starts being fun of it and all that crap. So it's bad.
Well, you know what? Now that you mentioned that, I remember watching something. There was a study where they took like I'm gonna say like 20 people. I don't remember the exact amount, right? But 20 people, and they hypnotized them, and they were told to tell you a story about them being abducted. And almost every single one of them, to the T, gave you the exact same story. They were walking down, some empty area. They get abducted. They all gave about the same description of how they look. They get experimented on, and then they get dropped off. And none of these people were really abducted. They were just under hypnosis. And the point I'm trying to get to with that is that all these stories have been told of what it's like to be abducted, that you kind of have an idea in your head what that experience would be like. And so it's not really reliable information whenever you hear these stories from people, because subconsciously they kind of have an idea what to say. Do you know what I'm getting at? Like you just mentioned the whole scene, they get abducted, they get experimented on, then they get dropped off. Everyone knows to a point what to expect from a story like that, an experience like that. And so whenever someone says that they got abducted, it's not the most reliable source.
Okay.
At least that's what that experiment, that social experiment was trying to prove.
But it's kind of different. I mean, wouldn't it be different from someone that is under hypnosis to someone that actually did experience it?
I guess it would depend. I guess it would depend, because, I mean, it's hard to say. If it really happened to somebody, and let's just say that it was pretty similar to the stories that we hear, who's to know, or who's to say that was different than somebody who was under hypnosis and just told a story? They made up a story in their head, and they both gave similar details, a very similar story, a very similar everything. It's hard to really differentiate them.
Okay.
And yeah, and that study just kind of was just saying that, that's not the most reliable source anymore.
Yeah, which makes sense also.
I mean, it could be true. It could just be bullshit. Who knows, man? I'm not a scientist or nothing. I'm just watching these things.
It's a valid point. I mean, you're right. It could. Very well could. Think of it again, something we never really know. We'll never really know. I know I would never want to be abducted.
You wouldn't want to know firsthand?
Hell no. I don't care how nice you promised me overnight. I'm not doing it.
Well, what if they said to you, all right, CK, hop on board. We'll show you a good time. Cook you some steak. We've retired the anal prober. But, come on board.
I'd be like, no, they're going to have steak at home.
You wouldn't be compelled? Like, you don't want to know firsthand?
No, I really don't.
I don't know, man. I'd have to think about it. At least have to think about it.
I I'd rather believe someone that tells me the story than actually experience it myself.
Well, what if I told you that I got abducted? Would you believe me?
Would I believe you?
Would you believe me?
Depends. I'd have to hear your story first.
Well, after telling that story about people being abducted and under hypnosis, just being able to create a credible story, I don't know if I could pull it off right now.
No, probably not. I mean, we made up stories before, remember?
Yeah,
So we could probably pull out some good ones.
I'm sure we could. But if I was like, "Oh, it's real, I'm not joking," I think you would still have a hard time trying to believe me.
Yeah, probably. Not that I don't fully trust you. It's just I know you too well.
That's fair to say.
We have a lot of history. How's that?
Yeah, I wouldn't believe me either.
Believe yourself. That's good. That's good. Then. That's good. Yeah, I like that one. That was a good topic we went on.
Have you ever thought about? I've heard some stories in the past. It makes you think, right? Like aliens have landed a while ago, and they are among humans. They're already among us.
Oh, I do believe in that part, though. I do believe they're out there, sure.
Oh, so you think they're already? You do believe they're among us, then?
Yeah, for sure.
Who?
Just like the Men in Black. They tell you right there.
Oh wait,
the movie.
Oh. That's not a documentary, right? That didn't actually happen.
But there's some truth behind it.
There could be.
And technically, wouldn't that mean the Men in Black? I mean, they're not really. I don't want to say they're human anymore. So yeah, technically they're living among us. But there's also, I know there's others there.
I don't know, man. I mean, if I was an alien,
you don't believe so?
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that one because I don't know if I was an alien, and I don't think I would choose Earth to spend the rest of my days on. There's got to be some other planet.
Wow, you know what? I didn't really think about that because I was saying earlier how we're not the only ones.
Right.
But yeah, we haven't really discovered, and we haven't really gone to other planets, so we can't say for sure. But how do we know they haven't gone to other planets? Maybe they discovered something.
That's true.
Yeah, we hear them not coming over here, but they might be also going over there to other planets as well.
Yeah, I mean,
because there might be something there. Maybe I explain that right. 'Cause I think I'm confusing myself. But I mean, just to be messing with our planet the whole time, I don't think so. And their technology is much more advanced than ours. So I believe they have the ability to go to other planets in the solar system.
They have to. If you believe that, and I kind of do have some belief in this part. If you believe that aliens had something to do with the building of the pyramids way back when, in that time period, the documentation of when, quote unquote, aliens were on Earth, the time is very split up. It was like, damn, I can't give you years or anything, but it was like they started, well, maybe not started, but they worked in Mexico with the Mayans. A few years later, they were with the Egyptians out there. And then, a few years later, they were in Greece. Years later, they were in Italy. Like, they're kind of spread out. And they don't stick around for long, They kind of take off, come back in 100 years or so. And it's kind of suggests to me that, yeah, they're not spending all their time on Earth like you said.
To me, when it comes to the pyramids, I don't believe they were created like they say by the Jews, right? The Jews that supposedly did it,
right?
Because they're too perfect. They're done too perfect. They're like symmetrical and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they're put exactly on the spot and all that fun stuff. And I think it's too perfect to have been done by human hands. If it was nowadays, it'd make more sense. We have machines and stuff like that could do that for us.
Right.
But back then they didn't. It was all done by man-made levers, ropes, and wheels and stuff like that. So for it to be done that perfectly, it's a little hard to believe.
Yeah, even the art. One thing that really got me on board with what you're saying, is there was a giant carving in stone of like a pharaoh's head or somebody, right? And it was 100% symmetrical. Like the left side and the right side, completely perfect copies of each other. Like they took photos of it and they kind of layered the left side on top of the right side, and it was a completely 100% perfect fit. No errors. It was just the perfect fit. And just like you're saying, there is absolutely no way somebody could have done that with their hands.
Yep. And I feel the same way about crop circles.
Okay, yeah.
And look how perfect these crop circles are.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that with your hands. It's been tried even. It's been trying. They've tried to debunk it. They tried themselves and they cannot get it that perfect. Close, but they can't get it as perfect. And if you look at these crop circles, they're almost perfect, pretty much. Like done by some huge machine.
Yeah, those I don't know about those. Like sometimes I'm on board, and then other times I'm like, some dude with with some boards just crushing that corn.
And that's what they were saying, that there were boards.
Yeah.
But they've tried them before with boards, and it's not as good as it would come out to have it on the real ones, the original ones. Close to it, but not quite.
Well, who knows, man? I mean, we several years, we have not even come close to figuring out what these crop circles are, how they're made, what do they mean.
And that's the thing. I think that's another thing when I was talking about the government. I think they know what it is. After all this time, you're telling me, after all this time, all this technology, we still have no idea what it means? Come on, I don't believe that.
I don't know.
That's something that's being kept from us. People recreating these. They'll be recreating it because they know about it and know what it is. And some people, this I don't believe that much, but what they're saying is these crops are supposed to be signals or signs of where, like how they're going to attack, how they plan to attack.
Oh, I don't know if you remember that movie Signs, but that's exactly what they said in that movie.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's the one where they, because I read this one funny part on there where they're talking about that, and then it zooms out. And it has the person's house right there, an arrow, and it says attack here. I remember that now. I remember that because I think the guy asked, like, how do we know where are they gonna attack next or something? And then it zooms out and it shows that.
Jeez.
Those were good movies back then.
It holds up, man. It holds up. I actually just rewatched it like last month. It holds up. I still, maybe not the CG anymore, but it's still a really good movie.
Yeah. So, Aliens. What are your thoughts?
Oh, well, I can definitely say that I 100% believe in UFOs. Even though some of the stories are bullshit. I read an article. Oh, I'm sorry, what?
It's bullshit stories are to be expected. It's the internet again.
Yeah. But it had to be maybe like 3 years ago now. I came across an article from the Washington Post. And this is like I said, the Washington Post, it's coming from Washington. So it's an official, real U.S. newsletter, right?
Mm.
And this was during the time when Trump was trying to get elected for president. And that guy, well, I'm not going to get too much into, politics here, but he was causing a ruckus. He was making a name. He was putting all the cameras on him. He had the spotlight. He had, everybody had eyes on Trump. What's Trump doing? What's he going to do next? What's he tweeting about? Everything was about Trump. And the Washington Post very quietly printed an article that said, basically, long story short, the U.S. government admitted that UFOs are real. They did not admit that alien life forms or, alien beings are real, or that aliens are piloting these UFOs, but they admitted UFOs are real. They're flying objects, and they have no idea what they are.
I can believe that. I believe it. There's been more than one occasion when they've admitted about the UFOs.
What
There's
other
been
times?
more than one occasion when they have mentioned it. Like that one story I told you about.
Right, yeah.
They said they really found one. They actually found a UFO. I'm sure there has to be more.
Oh yeah, has to be, and not just in in the United States. There's absolutely all over around the country, around the world.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure I get a feeling also that there's more than just the one Area 51 that we have here.
Oh, so you think there's more?
I think there's more around the world.
There's an Area 52?
It could be Area 52, 53, Area 151. I don't know.
Wow.
But I believe there's another Area 51 type of place. I don't know if it's called the same thing or a different number or what, but I don't think everything's tied into that one. Because I mean, I've seen videos from like Russia with about UFO sightings.
Oh yeah.
So you're telling me that if something were there, they're gonna call away from Russia over here? No, they should have their own thing right there.
That's a good point. They have their own.
They have their own government.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own place.
They probably don't swap information or. I'm sure they don't email each other or anything. But yeah, you're probably right. I never took that into consideration.
You might guess what I found.
You know what I have and you don't?
I'm talking about, well, mine has a laser.
Well, mine has slime.
Slime?
I don't know, maybe it's some like alien jizz or.
Oh.
Wouldn't you like to put this under your microscope?
That sounds so gross when you say it like that.
Do you want to smell it?
You sound like a Batman.
Hey man, Bruce Wayne's pretty rich, he can do whatever he wants.
Batman's a freak.
Oh man. I think we might be winding down here.
I think so, yeah.
Anything you want to go over before we call it a night?
No, I think we covered a lot right there.
Quite a bit.
I think we covered a lot, and hopefully people found it interesting. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much.
Yeah, once we get going, it's hard to stop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely go into more detail next time. We just kind of wanted to do a general rounded out thoughts on what we believe in and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's cool. I'm good with that.
Well, thank you for spending time with us. I know this conversation was out of this world, but it seems like we're running out of time tonight, and I hope that everyone else found interest and amusement out of that as well. Feel free to email me at BogusBird@theSAFiles.com.
And you can catch me at CrazyKat@SAFiles.com.
Feel free to visit us at www.thesafiles.com, where you can listen to all of our episodes.
All right, so that about wraps it up for us tonight. I hope y'all learned something, have a good time, found some enjoyment out of it. We're also on Facebook under SAFiles.com as well. And don't forget to check out our Twitter, also SAFiles.com.
We're going to close it down. I want to thank you, everybody, for listening in. Hope you had a great time. I hope we opened your minds the same way you open your butt cheeks for that anal probing, that sweet, sweet anal probing.
Oh, wait, no. You know the level of nastiness it adds when you're like sweet, sweet.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, good Lord, yeah, it makes it so much worse when you add this sweet, sweet thing in there.
You can also check us out on Patreon. On Patreon, we have exclusive content such as bloopers. And trust me, we have plenty of bloopers to share.
That we do.
Thank you, everybody. And remember, there are things out there you don't need to know about.